course, there are young people in the elite circle, but it seems that their role is still minor and not decisive. Meanwhile, young people outside the political ranks feel neglected. Their voices are increasingly relevant in many decisions and policy. There are still young people who are diligent in holding protests and resistance.
If they feel that something is wrong, some of them are busy building their own ecosystem whose impact cannot be underestimated. Would reflect our youth today, yes, it might sound different in the way it gets, but basically, it is bound by the same message. Though we'll create a desire for expression, is it still relevant to talk about the role of youth in politics? In what ways do young people contribute in the midst of a political atmosphere like this? This is Mata Najwa, Muda Bersuara.
October 28, 1928, young Indonesia from various background begs to need to build a nation, and today it has been 19 years since how young people have faced already in the studio the age of young people from various background.
There is Valdo Maldini, a PSI politician who currently sits in the pressure cell as I staff of the Massachusetts. Najwa also invited Gamal Albin Said, a doctor who is also a KS politician. Lola Esther is a young anti-corruption activist from ECW. Cinta Laura, an outward who also plays social and women's issues. Also present of Friends Mata Najwa, who representing of several communities BTS, Sabang Merauke community, Narasi community, and also fans BTS or ARMY.
That night, everyone was present in Najwa's studio to talk about young voice. Najwa wants Muda to speak. Do young people have the courage to speak up? And is his voice heard? Feeling careful? Is it decisive?
See, this is a difficult question because just like we commemorate Youth Out Day every October 28, there will always be clarification about the role of young people, but it is almost never accompanied by how letter regulation or policies are proceed to accommodate the interests of young people.
Was again, and within comes to speaking, it is considered the young people now white. Lola is of the opinion, so it's a counterproductive, contradictors, theater, and also for me, often there ends up being a kind of double burden to for young people. Yet again, a case is limited. Regulations are not formed to accommodate their interests. Often it is as simple as the phrase voter as an example how many candidates for legislative member, for example, actuality meter 17-year-old consequently accommodatorily with their interests are of the teams when of just being number statistic that there are large number of young people we become voter are only a fleet of voice.
Najwa Astu Cinta, she feel heard or noticed, or only noticed during election.
Cinta replied that she agreed with what Lola said earlier. The youth system is actually very directed and hierarchical. On the one hand, the youth get qualification because they are young and nicknamed, have the power to change the current situation. But on the other hand, the youth will not listen to. Cinta believes that as a young generation, youth must be consistent with missing for real. Don't be afraid to speak up, and it might sound content. But if you do not speak up, youth will continue to normalize things that are not true and unfair. Therefore, although there are many factors that might silence youth and make you silent. Cinta feels that youth believe in what the youth say and have strong faith to ban what the young man say. Don't be afraid to speak up, because if young people are consistent, they will be heard over time. And if young people want to work together, love is there. Change can happen.
Joa threw a question to Faldo. Afraid to speak up, there are clear concerns that a number of surveys to show that young people feel youth will show their surveys. For example, youth feel that youth democracy is getting worse. When asked young people dare to speak up or not, said they were afraid to speak.
No, it's worried, yes. So if a young man is afraid to speak, it means that the young is at a loss to become a citizen. It means it's not protected. Even talks the state in protecting its freedom of democratic speech, opinion, and so on. So if the youth don't take it a loss, so in that case, you can see that youth are looking at this day. Everyone can act in the sense of democracy. Najwa talk about democracy every Sunday. Even if the youth speak and the youth were smart, the maybe the youth, if they didn't violate the law, use law to creating degrade the sweater, you have the ability to argue about the question, what did I do wrong here? It does not matter, just ask it word by trying it. The youngs were afraid, but the youngs did stay, I think.
Najwa asked Valdo when someone stopped by the police on the street, and the police checked their handphone and then said he authorized to check that. Valdo opinion, we can do the challenge to the police. How now the police will take coffee or snack? Valdo said it's the big loss if lost all. Valdo said when the background for the opinion will hold on no, and the job of government is to hold where the people went.
Then ask the gamma a question, make the sound be hard, but raise the voice con really influencer according to gamma.
Gamma answered. Gamma entered into several points. First, talk about index data. Indonesia democracy, the worst decline in the last 14 years. Indonesia country score covers 63. Indonesia ranking is now 64 out of 106. The country of Indonesia was hiked in 2015 at the end of Pak SBY leadership. He entered the leadership of Pak Jokowi for 5 years. We experienced a decline and 2 months political culture, and civil liberties.
Even civil liberties have decreased by 20% in the first time. This means that international data that is some recognized is credible to show a decrease in civil liberties. Then secondly, the contrasting facts on the ground yesterday stated that 4,500 protesters, it was suspected that 232 during the demonstration, including the omnibus law and so on.
That was the education at Matanajo Studio on Tuesday night, October 28, 2021.